Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Really sorry that I can't be with you live today, but all the same I'd like to give you a little rundown on the Holcim Foundation and in particular on the Holcim Awards competition. My name's Edward Schwartz. I'm the General Manager of the Holcim Foundation for Sustainable Construction in Switzerland. As you probably heard before about Holcim as such, our vision is building foundations for society's future. Now, if we talk of foundations for society's future, that of course means that also the strategy of the company has to be in line with that. And that's why Holcim has great importance on making the triple bottom line balanced in a way that social responsibility, environmental performance, but of course also economic growth work together. And as you can see on this chart, we've sort of made this a little bit more simple, and we talk about people, planet, and prosperity. If you actually take those three notions and put them over each other, you will find that in the center of all this is sustainability. So it makes sense for a company like Holcim in the construction industry that we engage ourselves for sustainable construction. Construction is the industry we understand something about, and we want not only to promote sustainability in construction, but also to produce our own products as sustainably as possible and deliver solutions that are sustainable for all our customers. If we come back to sustainable construction as such, I think these figures that you can see on the screen at the moment show you what difference that we can make. If you consider that buildings over their life cycle use about half of all raw material on this planet, and at the same time of course also produce half of the waste that we have on this planet, consume 30 to 40% of energy and about a third of all CO2, this goes to show what a lever we have to make a real difference if we manage to reduce any of these quantities by only 1 or 2%. So that's actually what the Holcim Foundation set out to do. If you now look at this very simplified value chain of the construction industry, you will see that companies that are in businesses like Holcim at the beginning of the value chain, this feeding material in bulk, cement, concrete, any kind of commodity product, could also be steel or wood or anything else, we have practically no way to influence anybody along the whole value chain. We have no possibility to get in touch with them, to actually communicate with everybody along the value chain, trying to promote our own ideas also. So that's exactly what this foundation is supposed to do. We try to bridge the value chain, to reach everybody along the value chain until the end user, networking and promoting sustainable construction. Now, of course, sustainable construction, I've mentioned it many times. Everybody in this room will have his or her own opinion on what sustainable construction is. I don't think there's a definition that will really suit everyone. We at the Foundation have tried to come up with a way of looking at sustainable construction in a really holistic way. We say that building in a way that is socially, economically, environmentally, functionally and aesthetically balanced to meet today's needs and also to conserve resources for future generations, that would actually be sustainability in construction. We've simplified that again with so-called target issues, 5 criteria, which you will be hearing more about from Jorge Ramirez in a few moments. But these 5 target issues are actually the basis of what we're doing. We talk about planet, prosperity and people. We heard about that just before when we were talking about the triple bottom line. On top of that, about progress and proficiency in architecture. So these 5 target issues are overlying for everything that this foundation does. And as you can see on this slide, the Foundation has three main activities. We have a grants program where we help PhD students. We organize every 3 years an academic forum relevant to a topic of sustainable construction. And then, of course, what you're all looking forward to most, we've got the Holcim Awards, the regional and the global competitions for projects in sustainable construction. Now, before I go into more detail there, let's have another look at this slide here. You'll see that, of course, the Foundation and Holcim can't do this on their own. We have an advisory board to this foundation with a number of renowned people from all over the world. From Latin America, you will certainly recognize Yolanda Cocabatze from Ecuador and also Enrique Norton from Mexico. And we have partnerships with renowned universities on all continents as well. For Latin America are Ibero in Mexico City and also USP in Sao Paulo in Brazil. Those are the partners with which we work, and they also help us with this competition. This competition is open to everybody. This competition looks for interdisciplinary approaches to sustainable construction, to projects with a high probability of getting executed, and are absolutely independent of the building material that might be used when these buildings get constructed. Landscape projects, urban design, infrastructure are possible to be entered. Any project to do with building and civil engineering works, but also materials, products, construction technologies. Anything can be entered that can measure up to these 5 target issues that you'll be hearing more about in detail later. There are 2 categories. There's a main category for all these projects, as I mentioned. And if you happen to be a student, if you happen to be in a university program at final year bachelor level or above, or doing your master's or PhD, then you have the possibility to enter also visions and ideas in the next generation category. It's easy to participate. If you go to the website www.holcimawards.org, you will find all details and also a step-by-step guide in Spanish describing in detail how to participate in this competition. And this is really worth it. It is surely the highest dotated competition in the field of architecture globally. We have prize money of $2 million at stake per cycle. In the first round for 2011, we have $300,000 for each region of the world, which means also for Latin America, where we will be giving a gold, silver and bronze award, a number of acknowledgement prizes, and also 3 next generation prizes. If we now look back at the first 2 competitions, that was 2005 and 2008, we had a total number of 3 and then 5,000 entries. So there's really a lot of people competing for these approximately 50 prizes that we give globally. In both competitions, we had an encouraging amount of entries also from Colombia. Actually, we had 88 in the first competition, 89 in the second, and now, of course, we're hoping for considerably more than 90 in this third cycle of the competition. The same hope, of course, goes for the prizes. We had 2 encouragement prizes for projects, one in Medellin and one in Bogota in the first competition. And we had an acknowledgement prize from Medellin in the second one, and the winner for the region of Latin America, also for a project in Medellin in 2008. So, of course, we're really looking forward to a good success and a good participation from Colombia again in this competition. What happens once the entries are submitted? They get looked at by an independent jury, a jury that is going to meet once again at Ibero in Mexico City, including Professor Daniel Bermudez, who you'll be hearing in a few moments, who will again be member of the jury and surely be able to tell you a little bit more about this process and how out of so and so many hundred entries, the best actually get singled out. So with that, I really hope that we've been able to motivate you to participate, that you not only take part in this competition yourself, that you also motivate other people, people that you know, to go to our website, look what it's all about, enter your projects, and I hope to see as many of you as possible next year at the awards ceremony for Latin America, which will be on October 6 and 7 in Buenos Aires. I wish you a very good rest of your day, a successful event, and thank you very much for your attention.